I spent a very long time trading ICT and traditional price action concepts. In December 2025, I found order flow and footprint charts, and honestly, it changed everything for me. I started seeing markets in a completely different way that I've never seen before. So in this video, I'm going to show you a real setup that I took this Friday, spotting buyers being absorbed and exhausted by sellers via footprint chart. And if you're into order flow and want to follow my journey as I keep learning and evolving, make sure to subscribe and follow Benji Trade. All right, let's get into it. So let me give you some context on this trade. This trade is from May 15th, Friday. So context is, look at this. We had a big push down. Okay. I'm waiting to sell. I'm just waiting for a confirmation. Now, a normal person, if you're just looking at candlesticks, look at this candlestick. This big ass red candlestick. What happens? A lot of people will be attempting to sell here, but since I'm using order flow, it didn't give me any signs to sell in this location. It actually gave signs of heavy buying up here. So I waited till price got into this box, and then we'll leave the rest on order flow. This is where it gets interesting. You got stacked buyer here, okay, trying to push price up, but it's not working. And I'm just giving you guys simple context right now. We're gonna go into further details after. So I'm in my position, risking about 270. Okay, aiming for a 3R, 2.5 to 3R. That's like my sweet spot. This red line is the VWAP. Okay, so I only use footprints to really enter. I don't really use it for exits. But this trade, as you can see, I was holding it. I'm in these shorts. Trade is playing out. I'm up 1 hour, almost 2. This trade plays out to, I'll go break even, and still waiting, still watching price. Okay, you got value area high right here. It's the value area high. We're gonna test the VWAP. Let's test the VWAP. Look at these amount of aggressive sellers. Okay, that broke the VWAP. Testing VWAP now. We got another nice push down. Let me just fast forward it so you guys can see. I'm ready to close about 800 on this position. Okay, now let's jump into the footprints. So, with a normal candlestick, it'd be really tough to catch this when you see a momentum going up like that. Okay, usually people would wait for a candle close, and by then your RR, you're screwed. Like, look, imagine you entered here, you probably catch 1 hour maybe if you're lucky. But let's get into the footprints. This is that same area where I took the trade from. Okay, we had this nice reaction down, failed to break down, and we go above. Okay, I'm looking for sells in this area, so I'll tell you what I saw. You have to ask yourself, why do we use footprints? Okay, footprints show you what's happening inside the candle, right? You don't know just by looking at a candle that what's actually happening in the candle. Let me just give you a brief explanation of what a footprint chart is. So on the left side, you have the bid. On the right side, you have the ask. So in theory, the way I like to look at it, on the left side is the sell side. If the bids are aggressive, price is gonna push down, and if the ask is aggressive, then the price is gonna push up. So these green highlighted numbers, they're imbalances. So when this number is 300 times higher than this number, it'll highlight a green for me. So that's called an imbalance. That means the price moved up way too quick, okay, in this area. You'll see it many times. Price moved way too quick. And also on the opposite end, when you see highlighted yellow, so that's a sell side stacked imbalance. So when the price moved lower from the ask side 300 times faster or 300% faster, then it would highlight it for me. This is all set up automatically, and I like looking at things with colors. It makes more sense. It's easier. I mean, who the hell wants to look at numbers and try to make sense out of it? Not me, right? So let me just break down that trade for you. We just like in reality, we just want to keep everything simple, okay? I found that keeping it simple, it works way better than keeping it complicated. So what do we see here? Just this price right here. What do we see? Price is moving up. This is the 1 minute chart. Price is moving up. Look at the delta. Okay. You got 699 in this candle. Price, look how fast it moved up. Then you got 359, positive delta all the way up to here. Okay. We get 779 uh, positive delta, which means the volume was way more heavier on the buy side than it was on the sell side. Okay. So delta is just market buys minus market sells. And at the end, you get the number, and that's what the delta is of that candle. So positive delta means that there was more aggressive buying than selling. Negative delta means that there was more aggressive selling than buying. Okay. So price comes here. Okay. Look how aggressive the buyers are. We're not interested to, okay, when this is like climbing a ladder. Okay, when you climb, you want to see what the price is doing above. Okay, above the break, above the candle. Why? Because that's what's going to push the price up, is it not? Price is going to push the candle higher from the bottom, is going to push it higher from the top, because we need people coming and buying higher to take it higher, right? So look at this. You got a bunch of buyers here, you got a bunch of buyers here. Okay, 28. You got 3. Price comes down, they reload, price is higher, price, price again, buyers reload, price goes higher, buyers reload. But there's something interesting that happens when you get into a supply zone. Okay, you want to pay attention when you get in a key area, most likely a supply or a demand. You want to start paying attention to the numbers above, top 2 or 3 numbers above, and see how price is behaving around there, because that's what's going to tell you that when a reversal is going to come. Okay, look at this, 779 contracts in this candle. Okay, you did, it's a strong candle. Next candle comes in minus 129. So what does that mean? That means, hey, sellers are starting to come in. Look, all the way from down here, you got 699, 359 positive, 472, 84, 31 is getting less, but price is still pushing up. That means there's still some steam. 779, and right when we get here, minus 129. That's the first time in the last 5 to 7 minutes that we had some sellers stepping in. Okay, sellers come in. You got, look at this. You got sellers trying to break this candle down, but it's not working. Okay, price is still going up. That means there's still some buying pressure above here. We get in the supply zone. Okay, what do we see here? You got minus 24. This, you can start to see that, hey, we went from positive 669, positive 779, and now we're seeing negative 129. Okay, let's just wait. We wait, 369 positive again. So that means, hey, sellers are failing, buyers are still here, they're still showing the upper hand. Look at this candle now. This is where it gets interesting. You got, you still have 29 buyers above. Okay, my rule of thumb is, on when you want to, so since there's buyers on the right side, okay, how are we gonna, how, what is the sign that's gonna tell us that, hey, price is about to come down? You want to see low number at the top. This was, at this time, that's at this exact moment, this was the last, these were the last buyers here, 29 that got filled. Okay, at this moment there was 28, at this 33. Okay, so the market knows that there's still buyers up here. Okay, the market makers or whatever, so we're still able to push price up. Now what happens? Look at this, you got 0 sellers. Now, in order for an order to match, there has to be a passive buyer, passive seller for an aggressive buyer. It's always a limit with a market order. Okay, that's why you see a 0 here. You got On the one side, this is a clean auction. You got a 0 and a 9. Okay, that means, look, we went from 29, 28, 33 at the top to 9. Why aren't there more buyers here? Okay, this is interesting. You got delta. Delta switching minus 24. Okay, now we wait. What's happening here? Next candle close. You got buyers, 106, this big buyers stepping here, trying to push price up. It's not working. You got, why? Because there's lots of passive sellers pushing price down. These aggressive buyers are unable to buy into the people selling. Okay, that's why price is not moving any higher. So, what happens here? You see minus 117 delta. Interesting. We went from positive. Now we're seeing a little bit of negative, but this is not a selling sign just yet. Okay, why? You got this, you got 10 sellers on the side and you got 84. So market still knows there's 84 contracts here. There must be some buyers above. Okay, that's the way I like to look at it. And this is an unfinished auction. We'll get to this in some other rule of thumb. Most likely when you see numbers on both sides, high numbers, price will eventually at some point come back to it and clean out the auction and leave a zero print on the left or the right side. So now what happens? You got 9 buyers at this price level, 7467.5. We come in, we still have some buyers, but look at this. Such a little number. 0 and a 3. Sign number 1. Okay. You got 3 buyers. That's it. We went from 29, 28, 33, 84 to a 3. That is what opens my, I'm like, yo, this is very interesting. That's what I look for. That is the sign that I look for most of the times. Okay, we still don't sell. Okay, we wait for the price to come here, to price to close. See how the candle closes. We closed at, we went minus 24, minus 117. Despite that there's aggressive buying here, you got minus 7. Look at the next candle, minus 644. Now, I entered right at the break of this. What's another thing that's interesting? As the break was happening, we gave buyers another chance. These buyers right here, okay, these buyers, another chance. They couldn't buy into it. We had aggressive selling. When I see a print like this printing, okay, and it's breaking the candle, I am in. I don't need any more confirmation. We are, we went from positive delta and we're seeing negative delta. Now, that is good enough for me, and that is how I enter my trades. That's how I enter this trade. And this is just something that I figured out like a week and a half ago. So this is new to me too, but it seems to be working. Now, let's say you missed this move. For some odd reason, you missed it. You're like, oh, fuck, I missed this move. Now what do I do? Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to mark out this area. You have some buyers here. You're going to see, you want to see how price behaves up here. And also you had aggressive sellers here. Look at that. 176 contracts that broke that aggressively. Market will always give you a second chance to get in a trade. Why? Because market knows, they know there's a lot of liquidity here. Most of the time you will get a second chance. Okay. They know that there's lots of liquidity here. 176 contracts. Let's see, let's bring the price up and see how sellers react above here. I exited my position here. I was happy with a 1, 2, 3. Okay. Look at this. You got 0 and a 7 here. Okay. Price pushes down. Unfinished auction. 9 and 22. Price pushes down. 66.23. Unfinished. 15. 62 sellers. And you got some buyers here. 23 contract. Now, look at this. Reducing. 15 and 0. You got 8 and 0. Okay, you still got unfinished auction, price is trying to push up. You got 50, you still have sellers, 57, 26, and look, 28 and oh. Now, I'm not saying, hey, you just, when you see less sellers that you just buy it. No, that's what I'm trying to say. The context needs to line up. Okay. Now, what's the context here really? We fail to break above. Okay. Uh, we come down and we test these sellers again, see if they will hold and push price further. What happens? What happens when we get above here? We get back into that zone, see how price is behaving. Okay, this is another entry that you could, I didn't participate in this, but this is another entry that I would have taken if I was still on the charts. You got aggressive buyers coming in now. Okay, minus minus 309 delta. You got positive, then you got minus 270. Sellers are trying aggressively, minus 433. It is not working. Buyers come in, 763 positive delta. Try to push price higher. Now look, you got 0 and a 2. Buyers tried aggressively to push price up. It did not work. Price comes down. We push higher. We still have buyers here. Look at that. 45. You got 16. Interesting. Then you got 9. Okay. Positive delta 298, 97. Now we start. Okay. You got nine buyers here still, but we're getting less. But positive delta, we don't enter here. We're still seeing how price is behaving around these guys. You got 24 sellers and 64 buyers here. Okay. But now price is turning negative. Negative delta. You got positive candle. Okay. You got a bullish candle, but you got negative delta. Like, so what does that mean? Buyers are trying aggressively to push price up and price is not moving. Sellers are Buyers are being absorbed by the sellers. Look at this next candle. Okay. At this point, I'm still unsure to enter. Okay. Now look at this candle. You got We give these buyers another attempt. 17, then you got 15. Is getting lesser and lesser. Buyers are not being that aggressive anymore. Minus 429 delta. This would have been good enough for me. I would have entered here again. If I was still watching price, I would have entered right here. Okay. Aggressively. This is very aggressive. Okay. I would have entered here and attempted this short. Why? Look at this. Negative 429. That's good enough for me, man. Nice candle. Rejection candle. Minus 429 delta. You got big sellers trying to push price down. We're in sellers area. Now, let's say you still, for some reason, you're like, man, I still couldn't enter. I missed it. Fine. What do you do? Okay. We got aggressive selling happening here. We got very aggressive selling happening here. Okay. Buyers are still trying to push price up. How are we going to get up? Only if there's buyers above. How are we going to get down? Only if there's sellers below. Sellers are trying to push price down. Okay. 1141. Okay. This is interesting. We had 41 buyers. Now price is not pushing up. Now you got 3 at the end. Okay. Now you have 6. Interesting. Price is trying to push up. The delta remains almost neutral negative. Let's just say you don't even enter here. Fine. You see this positive candle, you're still like, oh man, price may push up. Fine. Wait. Look at this. Isn't this interesting? You got 6 buyers out of the whole world, whoever is trading ES, MES, or whatever, ES, you only have 6 buyers at the spot. You could have caught another trade here. A 2R, let's just say. Let's just say a 2R break below the VWAP. Okay? And if you're really ballsy, you could, I don't know, maybe get a 3R or whatever. But there is no magic, man, like to this footprints. That is, this is a sign of exhaustion. These buyers are exhausted. They can't push price any higher. This is what exhaustion looks like in the markets. I can show you another example. Like, it doesn't get any easier than this. This is, you want to see how aggression, how price reacts to that aggression. Okay. Like, buyers are being aggressive, trying to, you got buy imbalances here, trying to push price up, but it's not working. These sellers are holding it down. So yeah, this could have been another trade idea. Now, look at this. Price is turning, there's positive delta, but this candle doesn't look that strong. You got negative candle, you got a red candle, but positive delta. Another one, positive delta. You come here and we tried pushing price lower. This line is the New York VWAP. Okay, look, this is very interesting. New York VWAP, price comes there. We push price back up, try to push it down. Another negative candle, but you got positive delta. What other signs? This, I'm telling you, when you use delta with footprints, it's golden. You got, this is what absorption looks like. All these sellers are being absorbed by buyers now. First, we had buyers being absorbed by sellers. Okay, price came down. Now we got sellers being absorbed by buyers. And right where? Right at the New York VWAP. Okay, what happens? Let's just read this. You got, look at this. You got a dirty auction right here. Unfinished business. 46 contracts to the sell side, 9 to the buy side. We break below, push this candle up. Okay, 152 positive contracts. Look at the sellers now. You only had in the whole world 6 sellers here. Okay, that were trying to push price down. You got passive buyers, you got New York VWAP on your side, and then buyers hold this and price pushes right back up. And I'm not saying that trade this, but this is how you read footprint charts. You could have caught another 2R. Okay. Now I'm this is, of course, this is hindsight. Okay. Context matters, everything matters, but I'm just showing you the possibilities that are out there if you know these things. So that was May 15th. That, there's so many possibilities once you start looking at price action this way, once you start understanding what's happening between price. I mean, there's sometimes even I get lost and in in the footprint chart, and I'll show you what happened with me. So this is from May 14th. I gave these buys. The context was bullish. We're heavily bullish. Okay. We're just breaking higher highs, making higher highs, and we're so bullish. Okay. What was I really looking for? I was just looking to get in buys. Okay. Market opens. We got a nice little pullback. Aggressive sellers. 867 contracts. Try to push price down. Okay. I took a buy right when we got above New York VWAP right here. I took a buy. Price went back up, and I I moved my stop to break even right away because with these momentum trades you want to be break even right away. Okay, another thing that I liked was that we closed above all these sellers, aggressive sellers. We closed above. Fine. Took a break even. Then price comes down. Whatever. I wait. I'm looking at how these sellers are being absorbed. I wait. I'm like, okay, 14 sellers. We're getting less. 50 sellers, 10, whatever. You got 14. We're getting less. Okay, this is interesting. 78 sellers. You got dirty auction. Let's clean this up. Okay. I'm looking at this. Minus 991, minus 991, minus 5, minus 494. I'm paying attention to the delta. Dirty auction. I'm like, just wait. Let's wait for this cleanup. Auction cleans it up. We got positive 171. I take a buy right here. Stop below. I eat that stop. That's fine. I got stopped out right here. And I have to tell you guys about my losses as well. I'm not only here to show you my wins. I feel like you guys won't learn anything from that. So I took this loss, whatever. It's a small loss. It's okay. I wait. I'm looking at price here. Why? You got VWAP right here. Okay. Price aggressively pushes down into these sellers. Okay. We got double zero prints. Now, this is another thing. What does that mean? You got aggressive sellers trying to push price down. You got no buyers here. You got no aggressive buyers. Yet, price is still somehow managing to stay above. So what that means to me is there's a big passive buyer absorbing all these orders. Right when price gets above VWAP, I take my position right here. I enter because I'm confident enough that price is gonna push higher, and I go for I think it was like 3R or something. Yeah, I took a 3R. But let's say that you miss this move. Okay, let's say you miss this. What are you gonna wait for? You're gonna wait for price to come back in this area. This will be your demand. Why? Because price failed to break below. You got VWAP supporting you. You're gonna wait here. You're not gonna enter here. Okay, your stop will be too big. I enter right here. Why? Because I got a what 5 point stop. I don't keep my stop anything bigger than 6 points on ES. Rarely I'll go something higher. So you wait here. You see how price is behaving. You see how price comes back in here. Okay, you got 60 sellers with 10 buyers. Price goes up, 71 sellers. You still have some sellers here. 140 sellers and 91 buyers. Okay, these sellers are still unable to push price down, but market will come back most times to clean up those orders. Market comes back right here. Look at this. What happens here? Where did these sellers go? You only have 7 sellers here now. Where the fuck did they go? You got -8, -249 delta, -460. Now you got a negative candle, price is turning bullish, 24 positive delta in this. You got 102 positive delta, but you still have dirty auction. Okay, let's wait for that cleanup. Let's give these sellers another chance. Sellers fail, another buy opportunity right here. Whatever you could have got a nice 1 to 2, or if you want to, if you're ballsy enough to run it higher, you could have ran it to the moon. So yeah, on this day, I think this was the only buy opportunity, and price kept flying higher and higher, higher. Okay, but if you haven't already started with order flow, man, I would highly recommend it. Even I come from ICT background. I just started order flow 5 months ago, and it's been a fucking game changer for me, and it'll be a game changer for you as well. So, you know, I'm just documenting my journey. I'm learning as I'm going along. So whatever I'm learning, I'm gonna try to help you guys out and see if you guys can get some value out of it. And if you like this video, subscribe, like, and share, and wait till the next video. Thank you guys. See you.